All right. Well, hi everybody. So, getting back into Xianyun's story quest and also Lentrite because we are now behind, or I'm behind at least. And but we're gonna do that, and then so we're gonna have a big push today. If I happen to go a little quiet or whatever, don't mind me. I slept wrong last night and I hurt my shoulder, so it hurts a little bit. I took some pain pills and I have a healing pad and everything, but ouchie. Um, Other fun thing that I wanted to mention was that I know that other VTubers have like little emojis that they use as they call it like their Oshi mark, whatever. But I picked I picked a little mooncake. So if you guys want to use a mooncake or whatever, I think it's cute. It fits in with my story and everything like that about connecting it to the moon and everything, and also it's just really cute. So we're gonna go with mooncake for a little bit. Um, Also, one other thing I wanted to mention before we get into the game, um, uh, if you guys have heard about Selene and stuff like that, I'm not gonna go into it because that's there's plenty of videos about it. Rev, Keo, and Mr. Underhill do really good videos for that and explain the whole thing. But I'm just gonna say that she is now in her new account called Doki Bird, and she's gonna do her first stream tonight, 8 o'clock EST. So please go support her. She's been through a lot, and it's kind of funny because like I knew about her, but I didn't watch her a lot, but I had heard about stuff that had happened to her and stuff that she did. She seems like a really nice person, so I'm gonna go support her. So maybe you guys could go support her too. Like I said, 8 p.m. EST, so whatever that is for your time zone. But with that said, let's get into Genshin. All right, so first I gotta bob over the gameplay so you guys can see it. There we go. Okay, so I'm over to continue on with Danyu's Xianyun's quest. I gotta remember how to say her name. Like, I don't know what happened when they were having like Chinese letters translated into Roman letters and to give us how they're supposed to be said. But I think it must have been in like French or Latin or something because uh certain ways that those letters are said are not how you would say them in English. Um like for example, Chi-Chi, right? You look at her name and in English you would say Q as qua, so it would be Qui. But of course it's not because her thing is actually Chi-Chi. But if you don't want to like overly romanize her name with a CHI, you use it as QI, which that's a whole spiel there. But it's just one of those things that whoever translated it back in the day, they didn't use English for that. They used a different language that used Roman letters. But anyway, game is frozen. I had trouble getting it started this morning. It wouldn't get past the checking for updates area. I had to like shut my computer down, clear utilities, the whole thing, and then start up and make sure the little um was it kiosk, I guess, on the launcher was actually moving before it actually anywhere. Oh, please don't be stuck. I have not been having a good day, I will tell you. I had to pay my power bill today. It's over $300. It's I mean it's usually that high for this time of year because it's cold and you have the heat on, but holy cow, that's a lot. I have the opportunity to go shopping with Zenko mom tomorrow, but uh but I'm really not in the mood for it anymore. I don't want to spend any more money. I was like, I don't want to go shopping. But it is what it is, I guess. Thank you, viewer, who came in as well. Thing is, I kind of wonder a little bit because I went to the store and right before I found out how much my power bill was and I hurt my back, um, I went to the store and I bought stuff and the total came up to $66.61. So it was 666 and the lady was like, "Oh, you're not suspicious, are you?" And I was like, "What?" And I looked down and I was like, "Oh." And I was like, "Well, I guess I'm sure it's be fine." It's like, well, now I got bad luck. It'll load, it's getting there. Probably left me in the same place that I started from. Oh, there we go. Okay, good.
Wangshu Inn. Wangshu Inn. Do you remember this place, Granny? Yes. The fish here is very delicious. And if you look out into the distance, you can always spot a bird that's been left behind by its flock. I believe I used to have a room here. It had a window. Yes, I spent a lot of time looking out that window. Which room was it again? Let me look.
There's actual rooms here?
I'll come with. Hyman's still having some trouble understanding what she's talking about, but if she's so familiar with this place, that must mean she lived here, right? Wait, huh?
Hmm?
What are you doing here all of a sudden? You scared the living daylights out of Paimon!
There wasn't even like, what is it? That smoke puff he does. He just boom! He just popped it right in there.
I sensed a non-human presence and decided to come take a look.
Oh.
If you're here, then there's likely no trouble afoot. I suppose there's no cause for concern.
Uh-oh. Zhao, which one is the non-human presence? We have like, at least 4 of them here.
It's been a while, Cloud Retainer. I see you have returned to your previous form.
This is technically a kind of stupid question. Like, you know how old this guy is? He's probably seen her in that form a whole bunch of times.
I have indeed. I fought alongside her in this form on many occasions during the Archon War.
Oh, wow! What was she like during the war? Oh, wait, let Paimon take a guess. Was it anything like this?
Uh-oh.
Behold, the glory of one's newest invention, the Bang Bang Continuous Fire Mechanism. Hands up and surrender, or be prepared to face the full might of the Adepti.
I know she's kind of mocking her, but she's pretty good at that.
An impressive imitation.
Paimon knows her all too well.
Even so, Cloud Retainer was not always as ostentatious as you describe. You may be unaware, but her talent with Adepti sigils is just as formidable as her skill in mechanics. The Archon War reached its peak after Guizhong's death. The Cloud Retainer who fought beside me in those devastating battles was taciturn and solemn, only speaking when she had to activate her sigils.
Oh, gee, it really hit her very hard. I don't think as hard as Ping, but it definitely hit them all very hard.
A Cloud Retainer who barely talks? Paimon can't picture it. But what happened after that? If you were so powerful in your human form, why did you decide to take up your bird form again?
Once one had bid farewell to the world of mortals, what use would one still have for such a shape?
Oh, which means she's becoming mortal, or not becoming mortal, but like deciding to re-enter the mortal world because of Ganyu Shenhe and probably the Traveler. Like, oh, I might as well, right? You know, I don't want to be alone. Oh, she deserves a hug. She's such a nice grandma.
When dwelling between mountain and forest, away from the struggles and troubles of the mortal world, a mortal form is hardly the most fitting of choices.
After the war, Cloud Retainer retired to Mount Outsong, only revealing herself to the occasional visitor, and always in her avian form. Although I do believe there was an occasion some 30-odd years ago when she decided to don her human form. I believe it was for the purpose of...
Uh-oh.
One believes there is little need to relive bygone matters.
I can find it funny that she's getting kind of a somewhat taste of her own medicine because people keep trying to tell stories about her, and she's like, we don't need to talk about that.
Granny, are you okay?
Uh-oh.
Back then, at this place,
Perhaps this conversation should end here. I shall take my leave now. Should you encounter any trouble, you need only call my name. However, given that you are traveling with Cloud Retainer, I trust you are in good hands.
I know it's kind of funny too because ever since she came out, people are like, everybody's Xiao now. Everybody can do the plunge attack, and so it's kind of funny that they're interacting here. Oh, there he goes.
everyone! I think Granny is finally beginning to remember her past.
Slowly now, calm your mind and recount what has been recalled.
A long time ago, I stayed here to recuperate from my illness.
So what Shinto said was true! You did fall ill! Was that why you went into hiding?
I don't remember. I'm very sorry, but I can't even remember the name of my illness. The only thing I can remember is that it took a great toll on me, and there was no cure for it. I was confined to my room in Wangshu Inn, where I spent many days unconscious. I'd come to every once in a while and stare at the migrating birds outside the window. It was a solemn sight. I remember crying, but I'm not even sure I knew why.
She made it. She's still alive. Something happened.
One day, I met a traveling merchant. Upon hearing of my illness, he sold me a bottle of soul-revitalizing tea pills.
Young version. Like, now who could this be?
He told me that the pills were concocted using Adepti blood and could be used to alleviate my symptoms. Sure enough, I made a full recovery. My illness remained dormant for several decades after that.
So the dementia you're suffering from now is actually...
Wait, but if your illness remained dormant for several decades, are you saying that what you're going through now is just a relapse of what happened all those years ago?
You gotta take her to Baizu.
And it was all thanks to the pills that you managed to keep the symptoms in check? Paimon's brain kinda hurts. Do you remember anything else?
The thing is, too, is that it would make sense that she wouldn't be able to find a cure at that point, really, because Baizu wasn't alive at that point. That apparently, I mean, if we view Baizu as, like, in his 30s, and she is, like, let's say, going by her hair, like, in her 80s or 90s, if she was a young person, it would have been, like, 20 years or so before Baizu was even born, let alone become the doctor that he eventually would become. So, it's interesting.
I'm sorry, I don't. Oh, if only I wasn't so useless.
Oh, it's okay.
Hey, you're not useless.
You've done so much for me. Watched me grow up. Raised me. How could you say that about yourself?
Oh, fret not, dear child. Granny was just a bit frustrated. That's all.
The recovery of a person's memories is a gradual process. Finding pieces of one's past is always superior to not finding anything at all. Let us make haste to the next location.
Next location. Next location. Oh, why don't we go to the area north of Xianyun next? There isn't really a landmark there, so where should we start? Oh, Paimon's got it. Let's check out the houses in the area first. After all, if she was there for any length of time, then she would have stayed somewhere, right? Oh, Paimon's really got her thinking cap on today. At this rate, we'll recover all of Granny Wendai's memories in no time.
Okay. Ow.
As per our contract.
Oh. They actually are pretty close. I was thinking to myself, like, oh, let me warp over there. I'm like, well, the first one's like right there, so I'll just walk. I want to get up high enough first.
Straight on in.
Uh-oh.
Whoa, why are there so many treasure hoarders here? Guess it's time to round up the bad guys.
That was a hunter becomes the hunter.
Do you remember anything about this place, Granny Wendai?
Let me think. I feel like I've been here before. But I don't think I stayed here too long. I might have just rested here briefly before continuing on my way.
Got it. That's okay. There are still plenty of other places we can check.
Wait a second. If I remember correctly, I believe I brought... Ah, yes, I brought some sweet snacks with me. Go on, take some. You need to eat a lot if you want to grow big and strong.
Oh, thank you. Then Paimon will help herself.
That one's closer, so let's go that one.
Skyward! Scatter! Hit!
Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, I think Venti is still the best flyer. He's a little bit more forgiving, like, because he can make the updraft, and then, you know, in case you make a mistake or something, it's like, oh, just open your wings and you ride the updraft again, because it lasts a few seconds. Scaramouche's, I think, can go higher and is a little bit more direct, I guess, but he can be kind of hard to control. And then Cloud Retainer is a little bit. I have to get used to her.
Paimon sees an abandoned house. Why don't we take a break over there?
This place. It's.
Did you remember something, Granny?
I remember. Xianyun. This is where your father was born. It was a moonless night. I had been injured, so your grandpa was supporting me. We fled together with some being in the fog behind us in hot pursuit.
Oh my gosh.
I had exhausted my strength when the labor pains came on, so we took refuge in this house. Your grandpa set up a barrier outside, but neither of us knew if it could hold the monsters back. I remember that night. I remember falling to my knees, reciting a prayer over and over. I alone am the source of this sin. Punish me as you wish for forsaking my oath, but spare my innocent child.
Oh my gosh, what the heck's going on with this?
Sin? Oath? Did you do something wrong?
I don't know. I don't remember. I only remember praying in the darkness with all my strength until the sun finally rose again and the fog cleared out.
You was doing that while giving birth? My gosh.
Eventually, the house was filled with the sound of my baby's first cries. That baby was your father. I remember I clutched him tight to my chest and wept tears of joy. It was the first time I'd ever felt such happiness in my life.
Aw. It makes it even sadder, though, that he's gone now.
My dad?
He was my pride and joy, and so are you, Xianyun. You're so much like him, and I love you both so much.
Aw. That is so sad. Oh, okay.
But you're always going to be different from me. Why? Just what did I do?
I don't care what you might have done, Granny. You'll always be the person I love more than anything.
Aw.
You're too sweet, Xianyun. I'm lucky to have you with me. If not for you, I would not have had the courage to come here, to try to remember what I had forgotten. All right, let's not stand around any longer. There's one place left, yes? Let's go take a look.
If one recalls correctly, the next place should be Xianyun Peak. Yuandai, how fares your health?
I may be a bit slow, but I'll do my best to keep up. I'm sorry to keep everyone waiting.
Climb on. I shall carry you to the top. Oh, such lightness of weight.
All those who grow old grow frail in the end, do they not? First, you lose your memory, then your health. Eventually, you end up losing everything. My only wish is to depart this world with a lucid mind, to free myself of this torment and the burden it places upon others.
Fret not. You have my aid in this endeavor.
Skyward!
I didn't want to warp until they stopped talking, because if you warp, you could cut it off, and I wanted to see what they said. But oh boy.
We're finally here. Does this place feel familiar to you, Granny One Day?
Let me see. How strange. Have I lived here before? When we were at Wangshu Inn and the abandoned house earlier, though I couldn't remember everything, I still felt a sense of familiarity. I could easily picture myself in those places. But here, I don't have that feeling. Perhaps I did come here in the past, but it just didn't leave a strong impression on me.
But did the stories get it wrong then? Yeah, that's true. But they're also the only thing we have to go off of. Paimon was hoping this place would jog Granny Uendai's memory just like the others.
I'm sorry to disappoint you two.
Oh, it's okay.
It's all right. We're not going to give up yet. We'll figure something else out. Just you wait.
Thank you. If only I could remember.
To be honest, getting 2 out of 3 isn't that bad.
Huh? That way. What's that mountain?
Uh-oh. Pointing to Cloud Retainer's house.
Oh, let Paimon look! Huh? Isn't that Mount Outsong? Looks like we've come full circle.
Mount Outsong. Mount Outsong.
Granny, are you okay? Don't push yourself, Granny. It's okay if you can't remember. You shouldn't do something that makes you sad.
Mount Outsong, What am I really?
Uh-oh. Yeah, this is when Zhao popped up and said, "Oh, I sensed an inhuman presence." I was like, okay, well, he knows us, he knows Paimon, he knows himself, and we can tell he knows Cloud Retainer. So it's like, who is the probably not human? Probably this lady.
Mount Outsong holds some familiarity to you?
It does, but I can't go back.
Are you feeling unwell?
My head, it feels all heavy and dizzy. What is wrong with me?
Cloud... Miss Xianyun, is there anything you can do?
Let us go to Mount Outsong.
But...
Fret not, all will be well. You and I, you have already given more than enough to the pursuit of this endeavor. you may leave the rest to me. I've prepared something that can aid you in suppressing the fear in your heart and restoring your lost memories. It currently resides at Mount Outsong.
Wait, really? When did you do that?
I never leave anything to chance. All will reveal itself when we arrive.
It's like, you forget, I'm an adventuress. I have everything. Oh, they even give us a little wind pick up to get over there.
Come on, just tell Paimon already! What's this thing you've prepared?
Here, this is it.
Oh, that's cool looking.
Huh? But isn't this the mechanism that you were tinkering with when we first got here? Oh, is it another invention of yours?
You know, to be honest, I kind of wish that they would have Paimon's voice lines and give them to the Traveler. You know, like, the Traveler could speak for themselves. We've heard them. And I know it has a whole thing to do with, like, you know, immersion and things. But Paimon's voice gets annoying.
Precisely. A recent one at that. I am most pleased with the result. I call it the Suspensus Somnium mechanism.
Helps you sleep?
It periodically releases a soft breeze, which when paired with a gentle adeptal tune, can help the listener subconsciously relax and even enter a semi-hypnotic state. Soothing agitation and anxiety, relieving exhaustion and insomnia, its potential uses are numerous indeed. And of course, it can also aid in the recovery of lost memories.
Yeah, it helps you sleep.
Whoa, what a cool gadget! But if you had it all along, why did you keep it to yourself until just now? We could have come to Mount Outsong right off the bat and saved Paimon a lot of floating.
Oh, should be quiet.
How preposterous. Had Yuendai not recalled much of her past through her own efforts, the device would have nothing to draw upon. We Adepti can only help those who first resolve to help themselves. Had she lacked such determination and strength of character, one would have little to offer in way of assistance.
This is very, very fitting for the whole idea of, like, praying to the gods and stuff. On the idea of, like, when you pray to the gods, or whichever god you believe in or whatever, it's like, you're not praying for them to solve all your problems for you. You're praying to them to help you and give you the strength to solve those problems yourself. That's like one of the little commissions here with the little kid. I think his name is Shota. Shuta, something like that. He's in Inazuma. He goes to this whole big spiel about how he's praying to the Archon because he wants, like, more manga chapters, or for the bullies to get punished, or for there to be no test tomorrow, and so on. And he has to go through this whole thing to kind of find that, yeah, the Archon's not going to solve all your problems for you. You have to do it yourself. And it's just kind of like they're there to give you, you know, mental strength and stuff. So it makes sense for this.
Paimon thinks she gets it now. Hey, what's that other thing?
As previously mentioned, a gentle adeptal tune is required to take full advantage of the mechanism. One secured such a tune from Streetward Rambler. Only with her melodies can the mechanism reach its peak power.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. I was wondering because she was like, "Oh, here's that music piece you wanted."
Oh, Paimon can feel what you mean. Paimon's body feels light as a feather. It's as if she's lying down on a warm patch of grass after a super satisfying meal.
And you and I, Is the mechanism helping you to relax?
I hope we get that song. This is pretty. Yep.
It appears she has already succumbed to the depths of reverie. Come, join one on this side. We shall give her some time to herself.
Leave her standing there, sleeping. She's sleeping, standing up.
The drought is over. But why do you look like you want to cry?
The potion. It's nearly run its course.
I've never regretted meeting you. Not even for a second.
Aww.
Please. Please, no. Have you forgotten? This is the world you left behind. One of gentle breeze and morning dew, perfectly straddled betwixt the realms of heaven and earth. This is your home. This is where you belong. You should have never left. The you of the past, the me from not that long ago. We should have never.
Oh gosh, she's... Oh, and she's the white crane that helped her granddaughter. Oh, it makes so much more sense now.
So that is the truth. No wonder this place is so familiar.
Granny! Granny, are you okay?
The white crane adeptus.
Cloud Retainer.
Your memories have returned.
Wait, did you just call her by her full name? Does that mean you already knew each other?
Yes, I now remember everything. Everything.
Oh,
Granny, please don't cry. I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, don't worry, my dear child. Granny is fine. I'm so sorry, everyone. You've gone to so much trouble on my behalf. It's all come back to me now. The most important thing that I had forgotten was the truth of what I once was.
One can sense the guilt that now plagues your conscience. Reclaiming a truth long buried is sure to come with a myriad of complex emotions.
No, it's okay. Now that I've remembered, I must face my memories head on. Shuyu, everyone, I cannot thank you enough for all your help. I'm ready to tell you my story, if you're willing to listen.
Please, Granny, don't force yourself. What happened in the past doesn't matter. I love you more than anything. Nothing you say can change that.
aw.
I know, dear child. My feelings for you are exactly the same. It is for this reason that you deserve to know the truth. Some time ago, I made a terrible mistake. One for which I could never atone.
Is this the sin that you mentioned in Dwayun Karst? What happened?
I am, in truth, not a human being. My real form, one that I held for centuries, was that of a wild crane. I spent many, many years living on Mount Outsong, bathing in the soft breeze and drinking the sweet dew of the mountains. At some point, I somehow gained wisdom and sentience. The Lord of the Mountain, Cloud Retainer, became aware of my existence and began to share many stories with me. She even passed on the secret of cultivation to me.
This is one of those kind of stories like with the Nekomata. Like, oh, the cat lives for a long time and they basically gained powers kind of idea.
Though she never took me on as a formal disciple, I always saw her as my master. Whenever she took out her tools to work on mechanisms or new inventions, I would also stand next to her and watch. I even contemplated completing my training and becoming an adeptus in my own right. I followed her teachings, and time gradually passed us by. Until that fateful day 50 years ago.
And also, this makes a lot of sense, too, of why they didn't go to Baizu, because he can't help her because she's an Adeptus. None of his stuff will work on her.
50 years ago?
The big drought.
That's right. Master regaled me with many stories of her past deeds. From them, I learned how she had saved people from a similar crisis in the past. She was the one I looked up to the most. More than anything, I dreamt of becoming an adeptus like her. I wanted to travel the land like she had, relieving suffering wherever I went. But I was still far from being a real adeptus. I possessed no ability to take on human form and fit in with the crowd. Once she learned of my desires, Master prepared a special dose of human mimicry potion for me.
Sorry, just give me 1 minute. Cool down a little.
She warned me that the potion's effects would only last 10 years, and if I were to fail to return to my original form at the end of that time, I would forever forget my past as a crane and become something neither human, beast, nor adeptus.
Oh, gee. That's quite a steep ultimatum, I guess.
Oh no. So that was the source of your dementia all along.
But you never turned back into a crane.
Was it because of Grandpa?
Indeed, I fell in love. Though he was human, he had spent his entire life training on Mount Tianheng. When we met, it was not only my first foray into the world below, but his as well. Although clumsy and impulsive as he was, you'd think he was the real strange bird among the two of us. But still, just like me, he cared deeply about the world and wanted, more than anything, to cleanse it of all pain and suffering. I could not help but fall for him. But my time continued to tick away. Those 10 years passed by in a flash. Yet I did not want to leave his side, so I...
Honestly, she should have just told him, okay, I'm a bird, I need to go back home and get some more potion. Let me turn back, I'll see you in a second. Because really, it's like, okay, she turns back into a bird, it's like, well, just go get some more.
Oh no. What happened next?
I committed an offense. I wanted to stay with him, even if it meant living a life full of pain and suffering, even if it meant that I would eventually turn into a monstrosity. I knew I had betrayed Master's hopes, but I was too ashamed to face her. So I wrote her a long letter instead and asked someone to leave it outside her abode. I was convinced that she would not support my decision, and I lacked the courage to speak to her face to face. In my shame, I fled and tried to hide from the world, such that no one would be able to find me again. But that was only the beginning of my troubles. I began to suffer from a strange illness. My memories became hazy and confused, and I could no longer keep myself awake. I understood that my pain was caused by my refusal to return to the life I was fated to lead. Along with my memories as a crane, I soon forgot the true cause of my suffering as well. I knew only that I had committed a sin. All I could do was pray for forgiveness, even if I had long forgotten what needed to be forgiven. Looking back, I was beyond lucky to have come across that traveling merchant at Wangshu Inn. It was such a fortunate coincidence that we were there at the same time. If it weren't for those soul-revitalizing tea pills, I probably would have...
Uh-oh.
Granny, what's wrong?
Coincidence? Why did I ever think it was a coincidence?
Uh-oh.
Tea pills concocted using the blood of an adeptus? No, it couldn't be. Master, don't tell me.
Uh-oh.
Back then, that merchant was actually...
Aw.
Human custom would dictate the conferral of gifts to be in order when one's progeny is wedded, would it not? Consider the pills a symbol of one's best wishes.
Aw.
So when I tried to conceal my name and mistakes from the world and hide myself away in perpetuity, the only person I managed to deceive was myself. You knew where I was all along.
One still remembers when you were but a fledgling. You possessed a certain fondness for a particular game. You would hide yourself among a group of wild cranes and ask one to pick you out from among the flock. One found you with such ease every time. 'Tis a truth most evident. One always recognizes one's own, no matter what form they may take.
Oh, so Shenhe said that before. Aw.
Oh, wait! Paimon's confused! So, Cloud Retainer, you found Yuendai again? But how? When? And what happened after that?
Perhaps it is now time for one to recount the rest of the tale.
Cutscene. It's Lincoln. Oh. We really did get warped all the way, didn't we? This is pretty. I thought it was going to be a cutscene. It's like, nope.
One was furious upon receiving your letter. Seized with anger, one set out to bring you to your senses.
These beautiful flowers. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to take pictures, will I? No, I won't. Where is this? I mean...
In truth, one had more than a few misgivings about your chosen partner. As an exorcist, his talent was lacking. One could hardly say his skill with sigils was any better.
she's like, no, my daughter shouldn't marry such a, such a, what is it? A doofus.
But soon, one came to appreciate the devotion he bestowed upon you during your illness. He never uttered a complaint and rarely left your side. Unwilling to begrudge someone of such character, one decided to overlook his aforementioned deficiencies, glaring though they may have been.
I like that she's like, he's a good man, even though I don't agree with his choice of work. Or his skill at work.
Wishing to grant you a life without regrets, one gathered many divine ingredients and used one's own blood to create a form of medicine. Though imperfect, it managed to suppress the more dire effects of your illness. As for how to deliver the medicine, after much contemplation, one eventually decided to perform the deed oneself.
She gave herself a tiny mustache.
One took great care to alter one's features and select the appropriate attire. Only after meticulous scrutiny did one finally set out for Wangshu Inn.
That's great care of altering your features. You put on a tiny mustache and a tiny beard.
As one expected, you were most ignorant of one's true identity. You showed not even the slightest inkling of recognition.
On top of that, she thought that the person who gave her the medicine was a he, apparently. Like, how could you think this is a he?
One was quite torn. Should one have celebrated the success of one's disguise, or mourn the loss of your acquaintance?
Well, I wouldn't be too harsh on her. I mean, she was really sick and kept fading in and out of consciousness, so she probably wasn't that clear-headed at the time. And she goes back into the shadows.
Yeah! Skyward! Scatter!
Oops. I almost went too far. Ooh, a chest. Look how neat this place is. It's funny, it's like, yes, you have to use her, and you have to use her E-skill. So, better know how to use it, or you're gonna fall to your doom.
Nevertheless, one would speak to you about another matter, if you are amenable. Even considering your loss of memory, one was simply flabbergasted that you could so easily forget the consequences of consuming medicine infused with adeptal blood. Its proclivity to attract monsters is hardly that complicated of a concept to remember. To think that you tried to travel while weak from sickness and heavy with child. Had one not intervened to clear the fog, all of you would have been lost during the night.
Oh, so she was helping her all that time, too. That translates to, were you a dummy? What were you doing? We really are walking down her memories. This is kind of neat. Oh, yep, there's the house, and she put up the barrier.
Yeah! Skyward! Yeah! Skyward! Stray clouds converge! Scatter! Skyward! Those monsters would hardly have pursued you with such ferocity without sufficient incentive. They were likely incited by the presence of godly remains. Said godly remains, in turn, were likely drawn to the trace of one scent on your body.
Oh, gee. So she's like, I gave you the pills to help you, but then it made things worse.
One was, after all, an active participant in the Archon War. Some of the gods were likely shattered by contraptions of one's very making.
Oh, so they had a beef against her. This is a nice art, though, for her.
In the end, one was relieved to see you endure through the night. At the break of dawn, one heard an infant's cry pierce through the air, and one saw you carefully cradle the child to your chest. Although certain mortal matters remain foreign to me, one could not help but be moved by your joy.
Like, that was your first grandchild.
To see you happy, that was more than enough.
Aww. I like this berry, it's kind of neat.
Now you should have a complete understanding of the events.
Wait. But if that's true, then the crane who took care of me when I was sick must also be...
Ah, one had almost neglected to recount the absurdities of that tale.
I was gonna say, it's like, she did apparently turn back into a crane. Oh, ow. This feels so weird. It reminds me of one time when someone said that, like, they were playing their game and it didn't load properly, and so they showed up at Leeway Harbor and, like, the whole thing was underwater, or the water was, like, you know, up to the porch there, and they were like, yeah, if Osail had managed to drown Leeway, or Leeway Harbor, it's like, oh. Oh. The barrier stops me. You cannot go that way.
Just as you and I troubled one with her antics, so did you give one many a headache. Upon finding you burning with fever, one made plans to bring you back to one's abode for treatment. However, upon seeing one's form, you began to cry, refusing to get on one's back.
Aww. Oh, so it was Cloud Retainer. I see.
When one asked you why, apparently you believed that one could not possibly be a true Adeptus Because all illuminated cranes are white from tip to toe.
Oh.
One had no choice but to apply powder to one's body to conceal the variegated nature of one's appearance. You became more than amenable enough when one stood before you devoid of any other coloring.
Oh, it's like a big powder puff. He's like, oh, gotta turn white there.
It bears mentioning, however, that as a crane, Yuan was nearly entirely pure white in color. Though you had never encountered her in that form, you still recognize the essence of her being. Perhaps fate brought you two together in more ways than one.
Aha! That's how it was. Yeah, because I'm assuming that Hyundai has lost the ability to turn back into a crane. That's the whole problem. As Cloud Retainer said, it's like if you don't turn back after 10 years, you won't be able to turn back at all, and you'll become some sort of mishmash.
Now all has been revealed. One owes you an apology, Yuan. One recognized you upon your very entrance into Wanmin restaurant. One has always viewed you as a disciple of equal standing with Ganyu and Shenhe. Indeed, one wished to bring your story to a satisfactory end with this visit to Liyue Harbor. Still, one could not reveal your identity right away. Had one simply informed you of all you had lost, all those cherished memories would merely have become the fictionalized account of another.
Ah, so this was the important stuff she had to do. Because she was like, oh, I have something important to do. And we're like, oh, it's to talk to Ganyu and Shenhe. It's like, no, that important thing is still there. There's the important thing.
Memories are most meaningful when recalled by those who lived through them. Would you not agree? Even if the process was painful and arduous to experience. Have you any further inquiries?
Master, I must ask. If you found me all those years ago, why did you leave me be, even though you knew about my mistake? Why did you not bring me back to Mount Outsong by force?
One has never regarded your action as a mistake. It was a simple choice, nothing more.
Aw, she's so understanding. It's like, yeah, you've been beating yourself up about it, lady, and it doesn't even matter.
When it is time for one's progeny to leave the nest, it is the responsibility of an elder to let them fly free. Yet, when your wings grow weary and the night grows dark, just know that you always have a place to which to return. 'Tis a refuge referred to by many a name in mortal writing. Home, nest, haven. Whatever its denomination may be, its essence remains quite unchanged. One speaks, of course, of a place not unlike one's own abode. One's disciples are free to come and go as they wish, yet the door remains forever open to those who wish to return. One rather hopes you count yourself among them.
Aw.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You and I. One expects you too have sensed the rapid deterioration of your condition as of late. Have you not? 40 years ago, you chose a path without a future. Though one used one's own blood to provide you with a few decades of extra time, it merely delayed the inevitable. One may have extended the path, yet one was unable to alter its final destination.
That's why she got old.
Even the power of an Adeptus has its limits. Had your condition continued to deteriorate, you would have forgotten your life as a human entirely. In the end, you would have turned into a creature lacking in the ability to even comprehend its own monstrousness.
Yikes. That's not good.
Fortunately, you were able to avoid that scenario by reclaiming your memories. Though one sped the process along by providing some guidance, the result is entirely a reflection of your own effort.
So, what's gonna happen to Granny?
One will help her reclaim her original form as a wild crane. If it be fated, she may recover her sentience one day.
She's gotta go back to being a regular crane, huh?
Well, I'm sure it's either that or she'll die.
Master, you've already done more than enough for me. I don't know how I could possibly repay your kindness. This is a better result than I could have ever hoped for. How much time do I have left?
Not long. The transformation is imminent.
What's gonna happen to her granddaughter? It's like, somebody better adopt her.
Granny? Please don't leave, okay? You're all I have left. Please.
Don't be sad, dear child. Granny has led a wonderful life. My only regret is having to leave you behind.
But she is technically immortal, so...
Don't forget to eat well, okay? A growing young lady like yourself needs lots of good food to grow big and strong. Promise Granny you'll take good care of yourself when I'm gone.
I can imagine this poor little girl being like, oh yeah, Granny was having trouble, but I was helping her, and then I met these strangers, and they helped Granny, but then Granny turned to a wild crane and left me all alone, and now I'm all by myself, again. Like, holy cow, this little girl's gonna hate us. Like, if you guys hadn't shown up, Granny would still be here.
I promise, Granny. I'll do whatever you say.
Oh my gosh. Poor little girl, don't cry.
Good girl. Good girl. Don't worry. It's not goodbye forever. Granny's gonna become the most formidable crane in all of Mount Outsung. Granny will train day and night. I won't stop until I can turn into a human without having to rely on anything but my own power. When that day comes, we'll be able to live together again. You and I. How's that sound?
Good.
That's a good girl. Even though we won't see each other for a little while, as long as we both work hard, we're sure to meet again someday.
I'll eat well, Granny. I promise. And I'll wait for you, no matter how long it takes. I'll wait for you to come back.
That's a good girl. Then Granny really has no more regrets. I'm so sorry, Master. Thank you for everything.
Okay, so now we just made this poor little girl an orphan.
Xianyun.
Let her be. At her age, crying is a natural, if not fitting, response to such an event. Tears are a necessary part of maturation. Sometimes there is scarcely a better vehicle to wash away the toll of stress and misery. Now that the issue has been resolved, You should also take a moment to relax. Give yourself some time to rest. Take a nap if you must. One will wake you in due time.
Lumine is so pretty.
I always believed we would see each other again, that our days of separation would finally end, and all my troubles would be behind me. If only things could stay this way forever.
A nightmare? Curious. If you're relaxed, shouldn't your dreams be pleasant?
It was a good dream. It's just...
You weren't ready to wake up.
Disney Princess Lumine.
Eloquent as one may be, words of comfort are not one's strong suit. You are doing all you can. One can see your strength of will, your fearlessness in the face of danger. And so, whatever your dream may be, one believes that you shall achieve it. Of course, whenever the perils you face overwhelm you, or you become weary, one is always here for you.
Aww.
After all, as an elder, it is only right to look out for the young ones.
Considering Lumine is probably like quite a lot older than Cloud Retainer.
Grilled chicken drumsticks.
Okay. I know, this is the funny thing, whenever we get into some things about like Paimon spheres or Paimon streams or Paimon stuff, it's like everybody's hoping it's going to be some big reveal, and it's like she's dreaming about drumsticks.
Huh? Was Paimon sleeping just now?
That was a nice cutscene. Oh, it was so cute to see them together.
Oh, Paimon wasn't talking to you. Paimon had a dream about eating grilled chicken drumsticks, that's all.
Madam Adeptus?
Oh, Xianyun, you're awake. How do you feel?
I feel a little better. Thanks. I know I'll see Granny again someday, so I don't feel so sad anymore. Madam Adeptus, could I ask you something? Would you take me in as a disciple?
Say yes, because we just orphaned this poor little girl. If you don't take care of her.
Oh. And have you reasons for this sudden interest?
Because she's all alone.
I know Granny thought what she did back then was wrong. She felt really bad about it.
That would be so amazing, though, if the grandma comes, if the grandma comes back and she finds her daughter has basically become the next Shenhe and has been training under Cloud Retainer. She'd be so proud. She'd just be like, "Oh, my baby."
But without that mistake, I would have never been born. Even though Granny lost her memories, she never forgot to show me how much she loved me. So, I thought maybe one day I could become a cool Adeptus like you and help a whole bunch of people, just like Granny wanted to do.
Cool Adeptus like you. It's like, she better say yes because she took Shenhe in at this age, so...
Upon some reflection, one supposes you are no mere mortal. The fact that Yuandai's blood flows through your veins is proof enough of that. If this is what you desire, one shall make it so.
Good.
Thank you so much, Madam Adeptus. No, I mean... Master.
Xianyun, are you sure about this?
Shush, Paimon.
Paimon's gonna let you in on a little secret. We've seen Cloud Retainer's 2 other disciples, and they pretty much eat nothing but bitter herbs like chin-chin and violet grass. If you join them, you'll never enjoy One-Min Restaurant's delicious cooking ever again.
How utterly preposterous. One has never enforced such a rule.
Yeah, it's like, Ganya's doing it because she's a vegetarian, and Shenhe, I don't know about Shenhe.
Every individual must find their own path to enlightenment. So long as one retains a pureness of spirit, one's dietary proclivities are quite irrelevant.
Well, you say that, but Paimon's not seeing any tasty treats up here now, is she?
Oh, it's not about you, shush.
Although Mount Outsong is rich in natural beauty, its location does preclude access to certain finer mortal comforts. That is precisely why one plans to relocate to Liyue Harbor. Shu Yu shall have the honor of becoming one's first disciple in the human world.
Nice.
Whoa, you're leaving Mount Outsong?
Is that why you took on this human form? Well, I mean, it makes sense, because you think about it, it's like, she was hanging out here because Shenhe was living with her. And now that Shenhe has moved to Liyue Harbor, she's like, well, I don't have anybody else, so might as well move too.
One has never concerned oneself with the location of one's residence. From the very beginning, one has sought only solace and peace. Yet in the end, all of one's disciples ended up in Liyue Harbor. Ganyu, Shenhe, Yuandai. They all chose a life among the mortal world.
Like, might as well go follow him.
One has reflected on this fact for many years now. One can only assume that it is due to some failing on one's part as an elder or master. A failing, perhaps, of recognizing what it was they truly wanted.
It's okay. The thing is, too, is like, you think about, like, well, why she was living on this mountain. It was because she was depressed, pretty much after the whole Archon War, because Guizhong had died, Ping had left, Zhongli was doing his thing. I mean, the seats we're sitting on. It's like, oh, here sits Guizhong, here sits Rex Lapis, here sits Cloud Retainer. And now 2 of those seats are kind of empty. I mean, Zhongli comes to visit and everything, but...
One is most curious as to what aspect of Liyue Harbor could have enticed them to remain there. One could hardly offer an opinion on the matter, but perhaps some time in the harbor will prove instructive. Why are you all so silent?
Staring at her.
Paimon is, just a bit shocked, that's all. So, does this mean we we can grab a meal together in Liyue Harbor sometime?
One has precious little time to squander. However, if one finds oneself otherwise unoccupied, one would not be opposed to the idea. One will be assuming the identity of a human while residing in Liyue Harbor. You should take care to avoid disclosing one's true identity.
The Guang will find out about it within the day. She probably already knows.
Don't worry, we'll help you keep it a secret. So, when can we expect to start seeing you in the city?
Perhaps in 2 days' time. One has some matters to see to before one's departure. Preparation is the key to success, after all. One plans to put up various items from one's collection for sale. The earnings should provide for a comfortable living in Liyue Harbor.
Yeah, that's what she was asking before, too. Like, how much does it cost to live here?
One has already picked out a handsome property near Chuhu Rock. 'Tis no small purchase, but what is mortal life if not one expense after another?
Seems like you've really thought of everything. Then how about we meet up in Liyue Harbor in 2 days?
A sensible plan. See you then. Oh, also, why don't you take this suspensus somnium mechanism as a souvenir? Anytime you should feel ill at ease in the future, you may try quieting your mind and sitting in meditation as you listen to its melodies. It might help you find a new perspective.
Oh, a furnishing.
Awesome! Thanks, Cloud Retainer!
Yes, thanks, Cloud Retainer.
Hey, didn't we promise Shincho that we'd tell him what we found out? Should we make a trip to the Feiyun Commerce Guild? It's totally up to you.
Like, yes, we have a nice furnishing.
By the way, Xianyun, we have a friend who helped us learn a lot of information about your granny. Is it okay if we tell him the full story?
Sure, I don't think Granny would mind, as long as you don't tell a whole bunch of people. I don't think she'd want too many people to know. They might go to Mount Outsong and start bugging her about it. Granny needs to focus on her training, you know? But telling a friend or two is probably fine.
No worries, our friend can keep a secret. So, about your move to Liyue Harbor, you gonna tell the other Adepti about it?
I have left an explanatory note in my abode. Those 2 old fossils will discover it, I am sure, should they come seeking my company.
It's kind of funny. She doesn't tell them. She leaves a note, and then what'll happen is that they'll finally get around to go seeing her, being like, we haven't seen Cloud Retainer in a while. Show up, her abode's all dusty, and they're all like, oh my gosh, she's gone missing. Where is she? And then they cause a big fuss, and she's just like, what are you guys doing? I'm right here.
Considering their recent penchant for going off on private escapades, however, I find myself caring little for how they shall receive this news.
Oh wow, she's cross with them. The thing is, it's funny because when she says private escapades, they did this last year too, during Lantern Rite. Or no, I think it was the year before. And then they had a party with Zhongli, and it's kind of like, yeah, those guys are probably dating. They're like the second Liyue boy pair. Which, kind of a spoiler, but it's out now, I think, so it's fine. But apparently we do meet them during this Lantern Rite, but they're NPC models. And I will just say now, Genshin, if you are watching this, please make them playable. Please don't make that their final thing. You are throwing away money by not giving us another hot guy couple. Please. I'm begging. Please.
we meet again, dear friends. How did everything go?
Great! And it's all thanks to you!
Ah, I see. So the stories didn't get it right after all. Even though she was a celebrated heroine, she had to bear a heavy burden that most could not hope to understand. Thank goodness for the help of that Adeptus. At least she was able to recover what she had lost. Although I cannot claim to know exactly how their story will unfold from here, I trust the ending will be a happy one. Those united in a common purpose always find a way back to each other in the end. Thank you for helping me fill in the gaps. And don't worry, I'll keep this all to myself. It's not my story to tell, after all.
We believe in using you, Joe. Nice. Alright. I saw a post from someone where they didn't realize about the clock function. And so when it would say things like, wait 2 days later, they would like literally just stand around in the game and wait for the 2 days to pass. It's like, no, that's what the clock's for. Oh, is this her new house? Cool.
Your concerns are excessive and unfounded. This is but a simple collection of ordinary valuables. Such intense scrutiny is hardly necessary.
To be quite honest, your insistence on that fact is my primary cause for concern.
Uh-oh.
In what way are any of these ordinary? Every single item here could be worth more than everything I own combined. I simply can't risk shelling out that kind of mora without proper scrutiny. If I'm wrong, I would never be able to earn it back, not even if I worked every single day for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Just let him do his thing.
I have to be careful. Yes, you can never be too careful.
Oh, this poor man seems so harassed.
We're here, Miss Xianyun. What are you guys arguing about?
Paimon, we'll keep your secret. We'll keep your secret. Hey, Cloud! Oh, it's like, oh yeah, they're gonna fight out.
Ah, perfect timing. This ignoramus is questioning the authenticity of my wares.
Oh.
I'll have you know, these items have remained untouched in my personal collection for several hundred years. To question their legitimacy is pure folly.
Forget Paimon. She's gonna give herself away.
Several hundred years?
Uh-oh.
Indeed. They're family heirlooms, you see. Passed down over many generations, as families are wont to do.
Yep, they've definitely been around a while. We can vouch for her on that one.
Hear that? Had I not found myself in need of Mora, I would scarcely have had the heart to part with them. Indeed, you should consider it an honor to even have the opportunity to behold them with your own eyes.
It's like, whoa, she's getting upset. Whoa!
Doubt their authenticity any further, and I may just decide to take them to another buyer.
Whoa, please don't go! I apologize for any insult, miss. You see, I know full well that I lack the knowledge to judge the true worth of these items. If you could wait but a moment, I've hired an expert to appraise them for me. He should be here shortly.
Oh, here comes Ugly!
An expert, you say? Very well. I will wait for a little while longer, then. Traveler, Paimon, this is my new residence. If you have cause to seek my company in the future, this is where you can find me.
Oh, very nice. She's got a house.
Master! Oh, it's you two again. Hello.
Oh, look at her nice, cute little outfit. Oh, she really does look like Cloud Retainer's disciple now. Aww, it's so cute.
Xianyun, you got a new outfit. It looks great on you.
Now, here's the interesting bit. If in like 3, 5 or so years from now, we get a new playable character. Her name is Xianyun. She's a disciple of Cloud Retainer, and she ends up getting a vision or something. That would be so amazing. She looks so cute too in her little bows.
Master made it for me. I like it too.
Super cute.
Huh? You know how to make clothes?
Want you to put Shenna in something.
Do I know how to make clothes? With the support of the proper mechanism, sewing is hardly a challenge.
Master, I brought in most of my stuff. There's a few boxes left, but they're kind of heavy, so I just left them outside.
Fret not. I shall help you move them into your room.
Aw, it's so cute.
Actually, I should probably sort through my stuff a bit first. Everything's kind of messy right now, so maybe you could, not look yet, Master? Yeah, that'd be great.
She's so embarrassed.
It appears my young apprentice has her own fair share of secrets. No matter. Do what you must, child. Now, this expert you mentioned. When can we expect their arrival?
Probably now.
Soon. Ah, there he is. Here, allow me to make some introductions. This is Mr. Zhongli, a well-respected consultant at Wangshang Funeral Parlor and an expert in all manner of valuables and antiques.
I knew it.
Mr. Zhongli, this is Miss Xianyun. She's the one who's looking to sell the collection of valuables I mentioned earlier.
Her eyes! Xianyun's eyes, she's like, whoa! Zhongli, wait. It's like, he's like the go-to guy. It's like, if he has time, he will show up. Awkward?
Huh.
If it isn't Miss Xianyun. It has been quite some time since our last meeting. What a serendipitous reunion.
And Zhongli's like, oh my gosh, she's following my lead. She's going undercover too. What do I do? Like, what is it with the Adepts? It's like, I think the only one... Well, I can't say the only one, because it's like you have... Well, no, actually, because the other guys are going undercover too. The only, like, Adeptus that isn't going undercover is technically Zhao and Ganyu, because everybody knows Ganyu is... Well, I think everybody knows Ganyu is Adeptus, but when we met her, she was like, oh, please don't stare at my hair ornaments. And she was talking about her horns. Which, you know, to me kind of sounds like most of the people in Liyue Harbor know she's an Adeptus, but she doesn't really want anybody outside of Liyue to know that, so she just kind of holds up that, you know, facade. But they're all trying to incorporate into moral society now.
Indeed, most serendipitous. Have you been faring well as of late, Mr. Zhongli?
Quite well, thank you. I was fortunate enough over the past few days to enjoy both a stroll in the mountains and a fresh brew of tea from the most recent harvest. The experiences left me with such insight and peace.
Oh my gosh, he went to Chenyu Vale before Baisu did?
Huh. So you two are already acquainted?
Indeed. How fortunate we are that fate has brought us together again. If you are otherwise unaware, allow me to inform you that Miss Xianyun is a well-regarded collector and appraiser. She is well-versed in all fields, and oft-celebrated for her impeccable taste. You stand to gain much from this opportunity.
There you go, Zhongli's spinning his tail, and everybody's gonna believe him, because he's just that good.
You are too kind, Mr. Zhongli. True collectors pride themselves on their wealth of knowledge and eye for detail. I can say without a doubt that you are foremost in that regard.
They're like, fine one, don't say anything.
Why, you flatter me, Miss Xianyun. It would seem that you are as self-effacing as ever.
Not at all, Mr. Zhongli. Not at all.
I'm saying, watching powerful people pretend to be mortal is actually kind of funny. They try so hard.
While I am loath to butt into this conversation, I must ask, you two already knew each other, and you seem to have quite a cordial relationship. Can I be certain that you're not working together to swindle me? I mean, you never know.
Poor man.
Huh! A preposterous accusation.
She gets him at
The
the end.
heavens themselves would collapse before we would conspire to do such a thing.
Ah!
Miss Xianyun speaks the truth. Contracts are built on honesty and trust. If that proves to be beyond your capabilities in this instance, this transaction may be taken elsewhere.
Oh boy.
Say no more. Let us depart.
Uh-oh.
I jest. What fool would still harbor doubts after Mr. Zhongli himself has vouched for the goods? Miss Xianyun, wait!
Aw.
I deeply apologize for doubting you. So, Mr. Zhongli, could you please give me a final verdict on the value of these items?
There is no cause for concern. They are indeed rare and precious valuables. Take this mechanism, for instance. Though one may not immediately perceive its purpose, its structure and appearance are exquisite enough to merit it a place in any fine home.
The thing is, too, is like Zhongli knows his stuff, but he's also a dragon, and he likes to collect everything because dragons hoard treasure. So anything that he deems as like anything worthy, he wants it, no matter how expensive it is, which gets him into trouble because we haven't seen Tartaglia in Leeway for a while, and so chances are his wallet's run dry by now. It's like, your ginger wallet's not walking around here, sir.
The same can be said for this one here. Few could hope to possess an item that so perfectly blends mechanical wonder with geometric grace. I am sure you have heard from your travels that the study of mechanisms is among the most wondrous arts in this world. With that in mind, I earnestly recommend procuring every last item in this collection.
All right. Since I hired you as my consultant, Mr. Zhongli, I shall, of course, trust your good opinion.
Good idea.
Then, in that case, Miss Xianyun, I'll take the lot. However, since the final sum is quite large, how about we start with an initial deposit through the Northland Bank?
The Northland Bank? Huh. Oh, you refer to the fiduciary house. Oh, very well.
You're still using that?
I fear people only use the term bank nowadays. In that case, I'll be off for now. I'll return to collect the goods once you've received the funds.
Snore?
Xiangli!
My friends, have you been doing well?
Hey.
We've been great. How about you? Paimon didn't know you were such a busy consultant.
My days have been quite pleasant as well. I had been quietly enjoying a cup of tea when Mr. Xiaozu requested my services. As for you, Miss Xianyun, I presume you must be looking to settle in the city?
Yep, just bought this house.
I must say, the name Xianyun sounds exceedingly strange coming from you. Perhaps you could dispense of that particular epithet in further conversation.
She's like, it's weird, stop calling me that.
Whatever for. Am I not addressing you as a friend should?
Well, that is true, but... Alas, refer to me however you will. After all, a name exists such that others may address you with it. One is hardly ignorant of that fact.
It would seem that you have gained many valuable insights over the years, Cloud Retainer.
He's like, it's weird for Zhongli not to call me by my name.
One has indeed. One's previous stays were all brief. Now that one has made up one's mind to move and settle, one has gained a much better appreciation of the hubbub and commotion of the city, as well as the people's hard work and ardor. This city is much changed from how it was more than 1,000 years ago.
Not unlike the ocean tides, so too shall the movement of people ebb and flow. From turmoil to peace, enlightenment to aspiration. Human society possesses limitless potential. In another 1,000 years, the scene we witness here may change in ways that are impossible for either of us to imagine.
Alright, that's enough reflection for one day. No need to get all sentimental on us.
I know, it's like, you let them go and they'll just wax all, poetically all day long.
You make a valid point, Paimon. Now that the sale has concluded, what say one plays the host as we try some specialty dishes together? One must profess great interest in trying bamboo shoot soup.
Perhaps you have forgotten, Cloud Retainer, but I once tried my hand at that dish. You were at the table on that occasion, so logic dictates that you should have already tried it.
Oh? What occasion was this?
It was a reunion between friends several centuries ago.
Oh, gee.
Alas, you must have been too preoccupied to secure yourself a portion. Or perhaps our other companions simply availed themselves of faster reflexes on that occasion.
They ate it all on her. Also, several centuries ago. Like, really? Of course you wouldn't remember that. Also, too, the soup would have changed way by that point.
Huh, hardly. 'Twas most certainly out of consideration for the others in attendance. In but a moment, one will show you what it means to have a true deftness of hand. It is settled then. Bamboo shoot soup, mora meat, crab roe tofu, triple layered consommé. We shall enjoy the lot.
Oh. Yay, dinner.
One has already passed word to Xianyun Ganyu to make a reservation. It is prime time for them to meet one's newest disciple. Is that agreeable to everyone?
The big happy family. That's so cute.
It should be a most splendid occasion.
Thank you so much, Cloud Retainer.
Shu Yu, come now, it is time to dine. Ah, this gentleman over here is Mr. Zhongli. He is,
Yeah, like, do we let her in on the secret? What do we do?
A humble employee of Wang Sheng Funeral Parlor. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
And all the little girls probably like, why does my master know a funeral guy?
Nice to meet you too, Mr. Zhongli.
That should be everyone, right? Let's go!
Sounds good. Actually, Master, have you ever tried Adeptus' temptation? I heard it's impossible to stop eating after even just one bite. You know, 'cause it's super tempting and stuff. Is that true?
That sounds rather implausible. Although with the right preparation, certain dishes can be too delicious to resist.
Huh? Why are you all walking so fast? Hey, wait for Paimon! Hey, wait up!
Aw. I like that. That was very cute. Oh, we had one shot of Zhongli and then he vanished. Oh. An unsigned letter. Who counts? A letter can also be found inside. Little you, my dear daughter, by the time you read this, Mommy and Daddy will have already left to go on a long journey. Your granny may get a little forgetful sometimes, so try to jot down a little reminders for her around the house whenever you can. Mommy and Daddy are counting on you to take care of Granny while we're gone. You might be wondering why Mommy and Daddy have to leave. Well, my dear daughter, in this world, everyone's got something they just have to do. Your Mommy and Daddy are no different. Did you know Daddy was actually awfully sick as a child? How sick, you might ask? Well, even the doctor could barely feel Daddy's pulse. It was that weak. But Daddy still managed to grow up. Looking back, there were many times when Daddy thought he might not make it. In the end, though, Daddy pushed through every time. Pretty amazing, if you think about it. Maybe Daddy is just really lucky, or who knows, maybe he has some super powerful Adeptus looking out for him. He is half Adeptus, too. Either way, Daddy has always felt like he's received a lot of love from this world. And you know what? Daddy loves this world right back. They told Daddy that the mission would be super dangerous, but both Mommy and Daddy decided to sign up. You'll have grown quite a bit taller the next time Mommy and Daddy see you again. Maybe you'll be so big by then that Mommy and Daddy won't even recognize you. How about this? Let's use a code. Do you still remember that one phrase Daddy taught you when you were little? That could be our secret code for the next time we see each other. That way we'll recognize each other no matter what. You remember it, don't you? While the militant stand guard, evil shall never prevail. Ah.
Adventurer, think you can last a round against me?
That is kind of a bummer, though. You know? But that was fun. I like that. Alright. Oh.
I'll take the lead today.
I think that should definitely fill up our commissions for today. Yeah. Considering I did the first part of it and it was like, boom, commissions filled. And I was like, okay, so considering that part we just did was a lot more than what I did the other day. I figured it would fill up. And then we will go over here and talk to Catherine.
Ad Astra Abyssosk. Thank you for completing today's commissions.
Oh, I don't think my expeditions are done yet. How long? Oh. Okay, yeah. Well, I picked them up kind of late last night, so that makes sense why they're not done yet. But yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I like that. All right. It's there. Okay. And the next thing we need to do is go to do Lantern Rite. But before we do that, I want to go into my teapot. I want to put down that music box she gave us. Now, of course, the question is it an outdoor item or an indoor item? Oh, there it is. Let's see. Brushing. Oh. I guess what I'll do is I'll just click here first. Yep, it is an outdoor. Let's see. It makes sense to stick it here, but I think, yeah, no. I have to adjust a little bit so that I can actually put it down. I was thinking of taking these two and moving them to the side here, so it's more of a, you walk in and you have the you have them on either side, and then the Zhongli statue will be like right here. So if I back this up a little, whoops. This. Let's take I'll put these back if I want to have basically some kind of courtyard, but I think I'll have to make more of these for that. Oh, look at that. I can do the whole thing. That's work. That helps. So I'll put it here. So I'll leave it there for right now. Over there. It kind of gets eaten by the, whatchamacallit. Oh, the foundation, but eh. I don't care that much. Actually, I think... Let me check something. This fit... It's not overlapping or anything. Like that. And then... this. Not that. I want that tree to stay where it is. Make sure I give it enough space. And then I'll fill in the rest of this with more of these once I make them. I think that would be nice. Yeah, because these are a little too small. Oh, look at that. I like it. We can turn it off and then it goes back to the regular music. That's nice because technically if you wanted to, I guess you can enable this and it just keeps going so it covers over the regular music. Yeah, because they don't give you a... It doesn't look like they give you a tune for this one. I need to put another one here and maybe adjust this. But look at that, it looks really neat. I like it. Alright. Let's see if I can even make some of those. Putting some more lanterns over there too will help brighten it up.
This realm is truly beginning to thrive.
I like how they did this. It makes it so much easier to find stuff. make 10 and then we'll see where we go, where we are. Okay, because in this case, you can never go wrong with having too many.
If you ever have any questions...
First off, we need to put one right here. So that. We can move these little guys more here. And then yep, and look, just what I said. We had only one left. Let's see. Actually, could probably be moved back a bit. Let's take these. That might actually be... Yeah, I think this little... More like... Maybe something like that. I'm trying to give it a sort of like a feeling for a courtyard area, but not just plop it in place. Feels like it needs something here to kind of give it more of a square. Too bad we can't use the rugs. Let's see. Just maybe have a bunch of those. Eh. That's weird. Yeah. Like this would maybe have worked for like to give it some sort of definition, but it will just do that the whole time. Yeah, it's closed off too much. Just go and stick him in the middle of a pond. No, that'd be silly. So this thing definitely gave us, or Fontaine definitely gave us enough fountains. They are very pretty though. Maybe... Oh, there was one... Like a little... It's up a little bit. Yeah, here. Let me put this in and then put all that on top. Maybe that'll work. At least Rex Lapis' statue should be up there. This go on a table? Ah, it will. Good. I was gonna say, like, please go on a table. It's so tiny. Then that there. I think, yeah, I think these will be a little too big. What about these guys? They're not too bad. I think they're the general shape I'm going, or size I'm going for. Soften up the edges here. There, that's got pretty. Back a little. Oh, did I run out of those? I think I did. It's okay. And we'll just do this. Uh-oh. I might not be able to put the other one. Okay. Let me jump down here and just grab one. Take that one for right now. Shoot. It's a good idea. Maybe. Oh. I have hit the end. Yes, I could maybe take this out and take that out. that there. Good. This. Here. Where are my red flat bushes? Over here. I put those. But I have a feeling I won't be able to put a second one. If I do this. Yeah, no. That's not gonna work. That won't work. We need something smaller and less wavy. Oh. That doesn't work there either. Okay, well, no big deal. There. I think that looks very nice. I might have to move this a little bit closer so there's not so much grass and everything, but go here. You see this beautiful main house. Go up the stairs. Rope. I should probably put up some stairs right here, but I'll work on that part later. Alright. Well, I want to do Lanternite today, but I think what I'll do is I'm going to take a lunch break, and then I will come back. Thank you guys for joining me, and hopefully I will see you again in a little bit. Because we did quite a bit, I think, today. But I like Xianyun's quest. I thought it was very nice. The only thing I would say probably about it would be, it would have been nice if it was kind of like more leaning towards like...
When on the road, one should take ample time to pause and appreciate the wondrous scenery along the way.
Oh, that's not gonna work.
You're about to collapse, aren't you?
Go here. I'm sure Lanternite's gonna be starting in Leeway Harbor. I mean, I think maybe it would have been nice if we did kind of like a memory thing on, with Xianyun and Ganyu, because like we know so very little about Ganyu's backstory. Like, I mean, we know that she is part Qilin, and that apparently her mom took on a human form, and then got with a guy, but then it gets kind of confusing about, like, what happened to her mom? You know, like her dad, I'm sure, who was immortal, or he was mortal. He's long gone, of course, because, you know, Ganyu inherited her mother's immortality. But like, what happened to her mom? You know, it's just like, from what I know about the Ganyu's story, is that her mom and her dad got together, and then the Chillin, her mom, had her, but then took her and put her on the doorstep of Ganyu's father. Ganyu's father took her in and was raising her, and then something happened and she got given to Cloud Retainer, and then Cloud Retainer raised her from a very small child to the lady she is now. So I'm assuming Ganyu's father must have died. You know, because I don't really see why he would go and give his child to an Adeptus, unless this is like a Steven Universe type of situation where Greg had no idea what to do with Steven with his gem and things, and he wanted to be able to help him, so he went and gave him to the crystal gems so they could help, so that he could, you know, take care of Steven when all this crazy gem stuff was happening, you know. But I mean, in any case, he's probably long gone now because he was mortal, and it's been, you know, thousands of years since the Archon War, and Ganyu was an adult at that point. So, I mean, the only thing I could think is that her mom also died. But like, why would her mom ditch her on her dad's doorstep? Like, was Ganyu too human for her? Could she not I mean, because the thing is, Ganyu's mom, I know I'm getting into a theory and stuff here, but Ganyu's mother could transform into a human. That's how she and her dad got together. The story goes that the dad was dressed in leaves, and he stopped at a pond to take a bath. The mom, who was in form of a Chillin, came by, found his clothes, and went, "Oh, what a tasty treat." She ate them, not realizing that they belonged to somebody. And so he when he tried to get out of the water, it was like his clothes had been eaten. And he was so embarrassed, and Ganyu's mom apparently decided that the right course of action was to also take human form and be equally naked so he wouldn't feel embarrassed. Which obviously made him even more embarrassed. And then apparently that interaction, you know, connected them, and they end up having Ganyu at some point. But then, like I said, you had Ganyu's Chillin mom leave her on the doorstep of the father. But then the father left Ganyu with Cloud Retainer, so something must have happened, and it would be interesting to go into, like, what exactly happened. Especially since Ganyu's story quest was, I mean, it was about her finding her place in Liyue Harbor, so it wasn't that bad, but I guess on one hand, it was kind of like, didn't we do this already? Like, you've been living here for thousands of years. You know, you're still so, you know, uncomfortable. But I still like the idea that Cloud Retainer's gotten a new disciple, and she's living in Liyue Harbor now. I really like that part. I hope that maybe one day it would be cool if, you know, years from now, we find out that Xianyun has basically done a Shenhe and has grown up, and now she's also a playable character, and she got a vision, or, you know, I mean, she's got Adeptal blood in her. It's only 1/4, but still, she's got Adeptal blood in her, which means, or at least whatever the grandma is. So she has that inside of her, which means that she could end up having, like, you know, innate powers and stuff like that. I know that was one thing. I saw a picture real quick. I saw a picture of Baizu and Pantalone hanging out together, and the idea was, oh, Baizu's Dendro and Pantalone would be Electro, and they had, like, you know, purple and green highlights and stuff like that on the character designs. And it was really cool, and it was sort of an interesting idea because, oh, if that's how it is, then they'll work well together and stuff, you know, with aggravate and spread and quicken and that type of stuff, right, for, you know, on a team. And I saw someone's comment and they were like, oh, well, that's probably might not happen because Pantalone doesn't have a vision. And it's like, well, one, we saw him once from the front. So, and he was wearing a big coat. So he could have a vision, technically. And even if he doesn't, so far we have Nihida, Xianyun, and like, they don't have visions. They have fakey ones. I'm pretty sure, well, I know Ganyu. Ganyu's vision is real. But like, Venti's, Zhongli's, A's, Nihida's, Niviolette has powers, you know, and they don't have visions, so it's like, that's not a, you know, for sure thing. I mean, if Pantalone is human, then yeah, he's probably going to need a vision to be, you know, to have power and be playable. But, you know, it's you know, up for to foreseeing. So, and hopefully he does become playable. I will cry if he doesn't, because he is another one of the character designs that I really, really like, i.e. long hair, man wearing glasses. So I'll be really sad if he's not playable. But we'll have to see. Let's see. So, alright, so gonna wrap up for right now, and I will see you guys hopefully in a little bit. We'll do some more, and we'll do Lantern Rite. Okay. Alright, well, thank you guys so much for coming, and I'll see you later. Okay. Ending screen. Alright, thank you for coming. Bye!